We've reached our final segment of Growing My Way Part 2. We've been following our 5 children at 6-month intervals to track the impacts of visual impairment on their development. Our children are now 36 months of age. Please keep 2 things in mind as you watch how our children have changed. First, every child develops individually at his or her own pace. And second, though developmental differences are common with visual impairment, they can be minimized over time as children learn adaptive techniques to do the same things as fully sighted children. At 3 years of age, our children have left their toddler years behind. They're much more independent and can do more for themselves. They have all made the transition to preschool.
A blue one.
There's lots of different kinds of families.
Ethan is developing typically for a 3-year-old. We catch up with him at dinner time. He's eating totally independently and appropriately for his age. He knows what he likes and can verbally express his preferences.
Pancakes yesterday.
You ate pancakes?
Yeah.
What do you like to eat on your pancakes?
They're up and blue one.
What happened at school today?
I went to the playground and Bolin bit me.
Bolin bit you?
Ethan is also able to relate significant events in his life. He tells his dad, Paul, about his school day.
Can you show me where Bolin bit you? Where did the little boy bite you at school? On your arm?
And then on my shoulder piece right there.
Let me see where he bit you.
Saddle one.
Let me see.
Chest.
Ethan has made good progress in his communication and cognitive skills, as he shows in working a puzzle.
I go right there. And the bit go right here. The tulip.
Which one is this? Which one?
The tulip bit.
A what?
A tulip bit.
A jellyfish. Where's the octopus?
It's right here. It's upside down. Make him upside. He didn't have a mouth. He didn't have a mouth.
Where's his mouth? There it is. Where did you see these at the aquarium?
Yes, I didn't know.
Ethan has the cognitive skills to identify the different fish, the language skills to name them, and the fine motor skills to place their puzzle pieces in the appropriate spaces.
A seahorse.
Ethan loves to watch the fish in his family home aquarium and to help with their care.
Joseph, honey, Grandma. Look, Ethan.
Where's the black fish? Which one's the black
How
one?
many blackfish?
2.
Good job. And how many? You know which one are the tetras? Do you remember your favorite?
See the blue ones? How many blue ones do you see?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, there are
There's
a lot.
9. Wow.
9.
Ethan has gotten very muscular. He can pedal his trike with strength and good coordination.
Elusito? He's in the house.
He enjoys playing like he's taking his little teddy for a ride. He can easily walk up the steps, alternating feet, and without needing a handrail for stability.
I think Little Bear want to go for a ride. Can you take a ride with Little Bear? There's a lot.
I want to fix it.
Hey, Paul.
I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it.
Okay, you thank you. Fix it. Hey, Ethan goes for the ride with Little
It was a lot easier for Ethan to potty train than Joseph because he had someone to model after. Well, his language skills are good. Again, he imitates a lot what Joseph says, his older brother. And so I think that helps him advance a lot in his language. And probably says 150, 200 words, I would guess. 2 or 3 word sentences. He certainly can ask for things that he wants. He can let us know when he's not happy about things. And he's getting better control of his emotions. We ask him to use his words and instead of just crying, and he'll kind of let us know what's bothering him or what he wants. His area of strength, he's very inquisitive. He's very He's a good explorer. I think his mind is very open to try new things.
He liked to touch the texture of the leaves. He liked to find bugs.
And give mommy flowers.
And he loves to find flowers and leaves, like a big old leaf that he brings to mommy. Come on, what is that, Ethan? What do you find?
What is it, sweetheart?
What is it?
Ethan has an active imagination that allows him to take one object and use it for another, or to see something else in its shape, like this tree branch.
Maybe we'll document your first eye injury.
Come on, Ethan.
It's a Y. Is that a letter Y? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, good try.
Another favorite activity of Ethan's is playing ball, and he's developed good hand-eye coordination for it.
2, 3. Whoa! Yay! You want to try it again?
Ethan is off to a great start. He has guidance and attention to his development from his loving parents. He has no apparent problems to get in the way of his continued progress.
Yay! You want to try again?
Feet again.
Oh, good try.
Then we can roll it again.
Right.
Addison, like Ethan, is a typically developing 3-year-old, though her visual impairment can pose a few difficulties at times.
Now, you ready?
Here we go. Here goes the bounce.
No, I'm going to bounce it to you. Here it comes.
I don't want to.
Yes.
I have to throw.
Okay, then here, I'll throw it. Ready?
When they go outside and it's time to play kickball, they may have difficulty with those types of skills that could cause them to not quite be up with their age-appropriate peers.
Good one.
Playing outside on a sunny day does present some challenges for Addison, whose albinism causes her to be very light sensitive.
Got it.
Good. Nice.
Her hat and sunglasses are a necessary yet practical adaptation under these conditions.
What color are those flowers?
Willow.
Okay, bring them here so we do the ball.
Not yet. I'm going to move one.
She too is getting much stronger and coordinated on her trike.
Good job. And I like the way you're steering. Watch the van. This is a first. Usually on this little bitty incline, she gets caught.
Addison takes care when needed due to her depth perception problems.
It's right over here by Mommy's foot.
She needs some verbal prompting from Melissa to find coins that have dropped on the driveway.
It's in front of Mommy. It's in front of Mommy. Now it's to your right. No. Now it's kind of behind you. It's in front of you now. It's near this crack. See this crack? It's near the crack.
Yeah!
Yay. Who's that right beside you?
My shadow.
Your shadow.
Addison's shadow makes a stark contrast on the light concrete. She dances with it and watches as it moves with her.
I don't know.
The sun.
Back indoors, Addison's abilities become very apparent. She's quite adept at fine motor skills for her age.
Nope, there's nothing in there. Are you going to put something in?
Lynn, this is for you.
You going to write his name on the outside?
Thank
No,
you.
you're not going to write his name this time? Yeah, it is.
Addison, do you like sponge?
She has great interest in books.
I don't like SpongeBob. I like Dora.
You can change it if you want, or you can read it.
Here's his name on SpongeBob's television.
And next week's final contestant is...
Addison has a large vocabulary and very clear speech. Her language skills continue to be one of her strengths. She's learned quite a few songs that she likes to sing as she plays her little piano.
She can dress herself almost completely. She needs help getting the zipper started on a thing, and then buttons. We haven't really done a lot of buttons. Some of those fine motor skills are still coming because it's hard to see those little bitty things. Which one are we putting on first?
The shirt.
The shirt. Okay, well, which one's the shirt?
Addison can even dress one of her dolls with a bit of help from Melissa.
Fix it.
You do it. It's front. There you go. Pull it all the way down. And some help to get over her head.
I got it.
Good job. Since we're still just starting with buttons. Tommy got her buttoned. Okay, here's her zipper. Zip her up. It's right there. Good job. Is she dressed?
Yeah.
Some of the other things she's doing, she's pottying. She's completely potty trained, does everything. She's even gone to the big potty, as she calls it. She says that she doesn't need the little potty anymore.
Hold it.
Addison makes the life-size doll a playmate.
Get your jacket?
Yep.
Oh, you getting a blanket for the baby?
Yeah. No, she's not a baby.
Oh, she's not.
She's a kid.
She's a kid, okay.
Thank
Nothing like
you.
you eating on camera.
As we can see, Addison's not a baby anymore either. She's a kid now, too. She's very grown up and developing beautifully.
She's pretty much a big girl now.
What are you going to be on your birthday? 1, 2, 3. Yes. You're going to be a big boy.
We visit Jonathan for the final time just before his 3rd birthday. He's still a relatively quiet child who does not talk a lot, at least not in front of our camera.
You want to hear it again, but I want to see you match some duckies. All right, is it my turn? Okay. A blue one.
Right there.
Oh, thanks.
Jonathan is very good at matching games and loves to play them.
What does Mommy need to do?
Which one should I pick?
Hey,
What is it?
let's play
Where's the green go?
Right
Right there.
Thank you.
Jonathan looks for another matching game in his teacher's bag of toys. He finds a game where he has to match items by categories first, and then by picture.
To put them so we can see them. Turn them the right way.
there.
Turn it around. There you go.
Doggy.
That's not a doggy. Look at it again.
Doggy.
Ducky.
Hey,
Okay.
what's like this? What's it?
What's that? Animal. What's the
Uh-huh.
the home one? Yes.
Oh,
An animal.
right there.
That's a porcupine.
Jonathan is on target in his cognitive development.
What are these? Listen to me. Listen. What do you do with shoes? Where do you put them?
Right there.
Where do you put shoes?
Right there.
Right there.
yeah.
Where do you put your shoes?
Right there.
Right there. Where is that?
That is tutu.
2 shoes. Yes, I know. But what are they on?
And muscle.
Are they on your feet? Oh, well, there you go.
Jonathan has gotten a playhouse for Christmas. His home teacher, Melinda, uses it to teach and reinforce a variety of concepts.
Right.
Push the buttons. Let's see what else.
Cookies.
What's cooking in aluminum?
There are cookies in there.
What's this? Vamos a bailar.
Can you dance? You're good. You're very good.
The little house is good for teaching imaginative play.
He's going to open it. He wants to see Dora.
El timbre.
He said, "Where's Dora?" Hello, Dora. How are you today? Jonathan, where's Dora's hair? Can you show me Dora's hair?
Right there.
Okay. Where's her feet? Where are her feet?
Right there.
There they are. Can you show me her arm?
There.
Good job. Where's her mouth?
Right there.
Where's her back?
Right there.
It's one of the things that he really does well anymore is to sort, and he sorts just very naturally. A lot of times you don't have to ask him at all. He just does it. Yay, today's right.
Jonathan shows progress in his fine motor development as he strings beads. This was much more difficult for him 6 months ago.
Pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until you get it through. Very good. All right. There it is. Yay!
Is there a blue one? Is it blue?
To eat.
3 blue ones? With the one in your hand that's 4.
He's in the non-discussion stage of pottying. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it yet. His older brother was 4 when he potty trained, so if he's not in any hurry, then he still has help getting dressed. He usually doesn't fight you with it, but he doesn't do it himself yet. He may take his pajamas off, but besides that, or his coat or jacket, something like that, or his shoes or socks.
As we've seen, different families have different expectations and needs regarding children's independence in certain self-help areas. For Michelle, having an older son who is visually impaired and doing very well allows her to use his milestones as benchmarks for Jonathan. We leave Jonathan confident that he will continue to make good progress.
Hey, where's Theo? Hey, Theo! Hey! Hi, Theo! Hi, buddy! How are you?
That's good.
Good! Good to see you. I came to see you today.
At 3, Theo, who has severe visual impairment and was born very prematurely, is still not speaking. This is not typical for a child with a severe visual impairment. It will be some time to come yet, but Theo will be diagnosed with autism. This will help explain some of the differences we see in his development from what we would expect of a child who only has a severe visual impairment. Theo has recently started preschool and has experienced a few setbacks because of it. This is a huge change from being an only child at home alone with his mother all day.
I know you can do it. For Theo, he's in a class of 17 other kids, and there's 4 adults. And the amount of noise those kids make is just tremendous. And for Theo, with his sensory issues, it takes every fiber of his being just to maintain stability in that room without having to have new things being brought in. Here, Theo, do this. Here, Theo, try this. And he's not ready for that. He did have some setbacks when he started school. It was a hard transition to go from relative silence at the house with, his little bit of music here and there, or the noise he was making, to 17 kids and all of the noise that gets made in a classroom that's not much bigger than this room, and it's just been a real adjustment. So he's kind of let some of the skills that was starting to emerge have kind of fallen by the wayside because he's just functioning in that classroom right now. That's another thing you have to look at when you're dealing with these preemies, because they've had so much of their control taken from them when they were so little that now, when they can have control, that's what they want. The art and stuff, you can pull all the crayons and the markers and the scissors and the, all of that kind of stuff out for these kiddos, and there are times they just don't get it, and you can work with them, you can work beside them, you can do hand over hand or hand under hand, and until you're blue in the face and until they're ready to get it, they're just not going to.
Theo loves jumping on his trampoline. When the weather is too cold for outdoor play, it's a great way for him to get exercise and release energy. It can also help with spatial orientation and sensory integration.
Look at your daddy.
Funny how that works.
What are you gonna do? Come here. Come here.
Another great way for Theo to play and improve his body awareness and spatial orientation is to roughhouse with his dad, Anthony.
Theo, I have a drink of water in front of you.
Theo is still having difficulty with some self-help skills. His independence in feeding has been impaired because he doesn't enjoy eating. He continues to be averse to textures in his mouth and chewing.
And he's already thinking, how do you get through the rough time? You take a break, and you stop, and you look. Okay, what is it that we're doing that we're not getting? These kids are very methodical. They have to have things in certain order to make it make sense. And if you miss a step, then they get so far and then they're stuck. And it may take starting over and relearning and stopping and thinking about, okay, when I do this, I have to do this and this and this. Oh, I haven't showed him that yet. So you start all over again. It's there. You just have to wait for it all to make sense, for all of the process to work out for them in their little minds. And then they're like, okay, I can do this. What's next?
Dawn has great faith in Theo and in her and Anthony's abilities to help him become all that he can be. Theo couldn't have a better team behind him, loving yet firm in guiding his development.
Theo's going to have his delays, and hopefully eventually he's going to get caught up with his peers, and he's making lots and lots of strides, so he's come a long way.
You know, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of different kinds of families. I've got Chloe, are you happy today?
We visit Chloe at her special preschool program when she's 3 years of age. Like Theo, Chloe was an extreme preemie and has a severe visual impairment.
Thank you.
Chloe continues to have many feeding issues similar to Theo, and like Theo, she does not speak yet. You may recall that Chloe was diagnosed as possibly having autism when she was 2.5 years old.
Put our pillow on. Put a puzzle up here. Put a puzzle up here. Feel it with our fingers.
Chloe's teacher very slowly introduces the puzzle to her, inviting her to touch, respecting Chloe's dislike of having things pushed into her hands or having her hands taken to look at something.
Go to art. There's a bar.
Oh, you do?
Taking this approach gives Chloe more control over her activities. It allows her to choose to participate. You might recall that both Theo's and Chloe's mothers have discussed the control issues that preemies can experience due to their long stays in the NICU.
Way up here. Oh no, Where's your class? Where's your class?
Chloe relates well to her teachers. It's not uncommon for children who are severely visually impaired to relate better to adults because adults do so much for them.
Can you not tell Chloe to come over here and ring the bells? Zachary, tell Chloe to come over and ring the bell.
May, can you talk to Chloe? Talk to Chloe.
Say, Chloe, come ring the bell.
Oh, you do want to ring the bell?
Chloe has more difficulty relating to the other children in class. It's good that she's getting opportunities to learn how to be a part of a group of friends. With continued love, patience, and effort from her family and teachers, Chloe will be able to rise to the challenges of her disabilities.
Good job, Ashley.
Some of the other children in Chloe's special class who are blind demonstrate that visual impairment does not, in and of itself, cause delays in speech and language. We must remember that these children are not dealing with the additional challenges that Theo and Chloe face.
You played the drum. Yes, you did. Yay. Whoa. Say, excuse me.
There you go. Good job. Thank you.
Shane, who at 5 is quite a bit older than the children we've been following, is very capable of carrying on a conversation with a class visitor.
We'll get sick.
Do you like doggies?
Yeah, but at first I'm scared.
How do you get over being scared?
Well, a dog I haven't seen before, I might get scared at first.
Right.
Would you like to give Woody another cookie?
No. I'll get my hand wet again.
Oh, okay. Well, what if I get a towel? Would that, and we can dry it off? Would that be okay then? No.
So, what have we learned from watching our children grow over the past 3 years?
You know, having these little snapshots, it'll be wonderful to see it all put together. And it allowed me to kind of think about development too, just having these visits every 3 months just to see how far a child comes in that short of time, no matter what their vision is. Just the other senses that they have, and everything's pulled together toward the goal of developing. So it's just wonderful.
We've certainly seen that development is a very individual process, depending on each child's internal timetable, but strongly influenced by parental love and effort, exposure to a variety of experiences, and the impacts of disabling conditions. We've seen that by 3 years of age, there are few, if any, significant developmental differences between Ethan, who has normal vision, and our 2 children with low vision, Addison and Jonathan. However, it's very important to make sure that children with low vision who are functioning age appropriately at the preschool level don't fall through the cracks because they're doing so well.
When you're talking about children with low vision, and we see that they really come along, and you know, if you put them in a situation with a child that's sighted in a little play situation, that you may not be able to tell any difference between them. But when things get a little more detailed in the work that's expected of them, when life gets a little more detailed and they have to start following in unfamiliar atmospheres and environments, when they have to go to school on their own, when they're expected to use distance vision, those are some of the things that we'll find that those kids will really have some difficulty with. Ask the child, can you see that? If you think they're having difficulty seeing, can you see that? Because sometimes kids can work so well with the things that are close and that are fine motor tasks and stuff. You think, oh gosh, they're doing so great. But then a mom will say, you know, we went to Gymboree, and I realized that when I was 6 feet away from him, he couldn't distinguish me from the other mothers. And that's a little frightening for parents. So, you know, to find a way that he can distinguish her.
Keep him busy and always try new things with them, and he likes a lot of bright colors or tactual things, and mainly get them involved with, you know, making sure they're not bored and just doing nothing. I mean, just because they're visually impaired doesn't mean they can't do things that any other child does.
One of the things that I think is really important for children with low vision is, even as early as 3, is that introduction of magnifiers, so that they can begin to look for details in pictures and really to practice those skills over and over, those matching skills that they're going to have, that trying to identify pictures and find different things in books. Those kinds of skills will help them to begin to look for detail.
For our children who were preemies and have severe vision loss, plus the added challenge of autism, we've seen that they and their families have to work very hard to win developmental milestones.
We started with Theo, a tiny, tiny baby, fit in the palm of your hand. Brought him home when he was a little over 5 pounds, and he looked like a little baby doll. And he's grown. I mean, he's done fabulous, considering where he come from. He's not talking yet, but he walks, and he will eat with assistance, and he helps get dressed, and he's starting to tell me when he's gone potty. You know, I mean, these are great things at the age of 3, you know. No, it may not be age appropriate, but it's Theo appropriate.
One of the things that Theo and Chloe miss is the ease of learning visually, the primary way young children learn so very many things, from self-help skills to appropriate behavior.
And our kids just miss out on all that incidental learning that all the other kids get. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we both, you know, have the most struggle with, is just how to get them to learn without the incidental learning, and how to adapt it in a way that, you know, hand over or whatever. But you know, it's definitely a struggle. You don't realize how much you miss out on until you're around children who are more typical, and then you see how easy it is to say, "Look," And then, oh, okay, where our kids don't get that at all. They struggle, and you get 3 steps ahead and you take 2 steps back. But I think a lot of this also just makes us have to be much more creative thinkers, because, you know, everything the children are doing, you want them to be actively involved, but obviously, you know, with Chloe, for example, they're sitting at the table, they're using markers. What is a kid with no vision or very limited vision going to get from this? So you have to think of other ways to make it creative.
We've seen parents facing head-on the challenges their children's disabilities impose. They've not let their sadness get in the way of helping their children make progress.
When I first found out she had albinism, the thing that bothered me was that she was going to be made fun of, that, you know, she was going to look different. Her little social butterfly, she doesn't let people stand off. She will walk up to somebody and start talking to them. She doesn't allow it. So I think that has helped my thing. She doesn't have a shy personality at all. And if somebody does something, she's going to tell them. You know, she's real quick and, you know, almost to the bossy side to tell people if they've hurt her feelings and stuff like that.
It wasn't a surprise to us. I think the surprise aspect in this dealing with realizing that your child may have a visual impairment is half the battle, and then making sure that they get any help that they need.
When we first started, for me, it was pretty disheartening, because it was the first time I was around children who were her age adjusted, and to see some of the things they were doing, and she wasn't. Now, you know, it was discouraging, but at the same time, we stuck through it, and now it seems, you know, I can see that she's doing things that they can't do. It means come give and take. I think you tend to focus on the things that she's not doing.
And forget what they are doing, because their listening skills are tremendously better than any sighted child. And they always will be, because they depend on that so much.
But we were talking earlier about, you know, doing comparison, and, you know, I think it's important to keep in mind that as long as our children are doing the best that they can do, then we got to be happy about. So they're not, you know.
We can't have expectations of our children that are not realistic. You know, I mean, we can hope that they could eventually get there, but if they're doing what they can, then we accept and love them and go on.
Make small goals. Today I'd like to, you know, see my child happy, playing with a toy that he's never played with before. And make that your goal for the day. And don't give up, because if you give up, he's not got anybody to help him, to teach him, and to love him. And that's what our job is as a parent, is to make sure that child is taken care of and that they're happy and they learn through that.
We have seen that loving, strong, active parenting is crucial to children's health, happiness, and progress.
Don't ever give up. It's a long journey, but it's one filled with happiness and joy and laughter.
Sit back, enjoy, have fun, and learn with your child. Don't hold back, because when I found out she did have the albinism, I was a little bit scared about taking her in the sun and taking her and getting, you know, involved in outside activities. Take precautions, but don't hold them back. Expose them to anything and everything.
Now what I want you to do is to take a bow. I want you to go over and look at your shoes. Holding the violin. Take a bow. No,
don't keep your feet together.
Just bend over from the waist. No, don't bend your knees. Don't bend your knees.
Like this.
There you go. Look at your shoes. Stand up straight. Stand up straight.
Good job.
And we have to clap. So everybody clap. Yay! Stand up straight. You've done so good.
You did good. Yay. Good job.